Good afternoon.
Say that again, sorry.
Good afternoon, everyone. The hour being 5:30 on Tuesday, May 28, 2024. I will now call the Public Works and Service Committee meeting to order. Mr. Pritzloff, would you call the roll, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Alder Jones.
Present.
Alder Jarrett. Alder Sebastian.
Present.
Alder Mack. Alder Perez. Thank you.
Thank you. First item on our agenda this afternoon is the approval of the minutes for the May 14, 2024. Motion by Alder Perez, second by Alder Mack to approve the agenda. Any corrections, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? The motion passes. First item on our agenda is 0489-24, communication sponsored by Alder Pete on behalf of Thomas Haskell from Pentecostal Lutheran Church, requesting to close Jerome Boulevard between Coolidge Avenue and Case Avenue for the 20th Annual Neighborhood Block Party on July 27, 2024, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Staff recommendation that permission be granted to Pentecostal Lutheran Church to close Jerome Boulevard between Coolidge Avenue and Case Avenue from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on July 27, 2024, for the block party per the attached stipulations. Physical note, there will be nominal cost to various city departments on a regular shift basis to assist and implement this event. Mr. Pritzloff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This item has come before this committee in the past. Staff has reviewed their request and find that no problems with it. The stipulations are as situated there in their packets. I don't know if we're from Pentecostal Lutheran today, like we do. Pardon? I don't know if we looks like we have somebody from Pentecostal Lutheran Church. If you'd step up to the mic, sir. But from a staff perspective, this event looks good.
Mic isn't on.
I would second that. Always been a good.
Thank you. Did you wish to say something?
No.
Well, thank you so much. It's been moved and properly second that we approve item 0489-24. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? The motion passes. Our next item on the agenda is 0494-24. Communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of 5K Events Org LLC and Racine Family YMCA, requesting to use the city right-of-way on Saturday, June 15, 2024, for the 46th Annual Lighthouse Run. Staff recommendation that permission be granted to the 5kevents.org LLC and the Racine Family YMCA to use certain city streets for a period of time from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, June 15, 2024, per the attached stipulation. Physical note, there will be nominal cost to various city departments on a regular basis to assist in implementing this event. Mr. Pritzloff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This event is, I believe this is the 46th Annual Lighthouse Run. Staff has reviewed their requests, find them to be acceptable, And from a staff perspective, we recommend approval.
By Alder Mack, second by Alder Perez, to approve item 0494-24. Any questions? Alder Perez.
Yeah, so last year when we approved this, we were having an issue with law enforcement. Ask Alder.
I'm going to be as diplomatic as this as possible. I feel as though, given the resources with the city and volunteers, they did the best they could. Being that these events are being held at the same time, it is quite challenging. There were a handful of, when I say handful, I would say two, so maybe a couple is the right way to say it, situations that were corrected immediately. And that was really just where the barricades were put up, and really that communication. And as soon as that was recognized, I mean, everyone was on that right away. So I would say, you know, with this going on further, really having the best comprehensive plan, and I believe that 5K events is far better equipped at really making sure that that is done properly. And I feel very confident that they will be able to manage that, again, with the volunteers that we have and with collaboration with DPW and what we can do, or what they can do. It's their jam now. Yes.
That answer your question. Questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
I have to abstain.
Beg pardon?
I have to abstain.
Oh, fine.
Thank you.
Got one abstention. Our next item on the agenda is 0479-24, communication sponsored by Mayor Mason proposing that the City of Racine sponsor the Racine Pride Day and Pride Month commemoration and celebration in partnership with the LGBT Center of Southeast Wisconsin. Staff recommendation that June 23, 2024 be declared Racine Pride Day, and that the City of Racine sponsor the Racine Pride Day and Pride Month commemoration and celebration in partnership with the LGBT Center of Southeast Wisconsin. Mr. Pritzlaff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We did review this item as well. This entails flying the LGBTQ flag as well as use of the front lawn of City Hall, which would include some of the electricity as well. We would set that up for them. It's not a big deal as from a staff perspective.
Any questions from committee members? Alder Perez.
Some clarification from the city attorney, please. In the proclamation or the statement on page 16, it says that the city can invite civic organizations. What is the definition of a civic organization?
Whatever the Common Council decides it is ultimately. The city has allowed, I'll just say, civic organizations that support bills of the Racine government as declared by the Common Council and as expressed by the ordinances of the city of Racine. That is what has been said in the past, not only for Pride Day, but for National Day of Prayer and some other events. So it's whoever the city of Racine Common Council as the voice of the government wants to partner with.
So, can I go on? It seems to me that we've done this in the past and we've approved the flag being flown. I get that part. But where it says, be it further resolved, like the third paragraph from the bottom, it talks about doing it all month. And I'm concerned that, of course, on the 17th, they're going to fly the memorial flag for Officer Hetland. But we do something for the people that have given their lives for us one day. And we do this for an organization that's less than 1% of our community for a whole month. I'm really troubled by that. I wouldn't mind, a week, or or maybe even 2 weeks, but the whole month seems a little excessive to me. I'm not recommending an amendment at this time, I just needed to express that.
That's what I was going to ask. Did you want to make an amendment to the item? Anyone else wishing to speak on 79-24? Alder Sebastian.
I totally understand where you're coming from, Alder Perez. And for me, because, we do 1 week, we do 1 week for this, 1 day for this, this for that, and that I completely understand. And I guess for me, it's because it's National Pride Month. That's kind of where I see it. Do we have other, months for other, other individual organizations? That's my question. I don't know.
Answer that question if you like, ma'am. Recently, the Common Council passed flying the POW MIA flag for the entire month of September, starting this year, of course, subject to annual renewal, but for 1 month.
Thank you.
Right about that.
Any further questions from? Seeing none, a motion is in order.
Second.
Motion by Alder Jarrett, second by Alder Sebastian to approve item 0479-24. Seeing no further comments, questions, all those in favor, please say aye. Oppose?
No?
One opposed. Passes. Next item is 0495-24, communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of Jamie Kirkwood requesting to close Karan Butler Drive between Center Street and Roosevelt Park Drive, and Roosevelt Park Drive between Karan Butler Drive and 724th Street. Okay. For the Juneteenth Festival on June 15, 2024, from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Staff recommendation that permission be granted to Jamie Kirkwood to close Karan Butler Drive between Center Street and Roosevelt Park Drive, and Roosevelt Park Drive between Karan Butler Drive and 724th Street for the Juneteenth Festival on June 15, 2024, from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Physical note, there will be no cost since this is a city-sponsored event. And I believe we have Mrs. Kirkwood with us to speak on the item if she wishes to. Motion by Alder Mack, second by Alder Sebastian to approve item 0495-24. Questions? Alder Perez.
So when we approved this, Corey Prince that originally brought this proposal forward to have the Juneteenth parade, and now Jamie Kirkwood, who, according to this paperwork, is the authorized committee chairman, it looks like.
Yes.
What is the relationship between the two?
In the two,
Corey Prince
regards?
and this situation?
I don't.
Because I thought we had approved already a parade. The parade just doesn't close the streets down?
It closes the streets down for the parade, but it does not close the streets that's surrounding the center, which Mrs. Kirkwood is asking for.
So this is just around the park?
Yes. So the vendors will have a place to park their automobiles, and the people that are attending from out of town that are going to be on the program will be able to park.
I didn't understand that relationship.
Any further questions from committee members? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. Next item on our agenda is 0487-24, communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of Department of Public Works, submitting bid results for contract 2024-109 Transit Center renovation. And Mr. Young, would you like to speak on this item?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, DPW staff, members of the committee. In front of you today are about $1.2 million project for investment in our maintenance facility garage at 1900 Kentucky Street. So here, this is actually the oldest transit facility in the state of Wisconsin that serves that maintenance and administrative purpose. And so we're really excited, thanks to grant funds, to be able to invest this type of basic maintenance and renovation work into the facility. So just to provide a brief description of what work will go into this project, we'll be expanding the women's and men's restroom to make sure that they're ADA compliant. We'll be expanding the size of the dispatch office to make it more attractive for our staff. We're going to be adding space for our drivers and training rooms. So currently we have quarterly safety meetings that we now have to host at the Transit Center. But what we'll be able to do with these renovations is actually host them at the facility that drivers check into every single day by replacing storage space with an expanded training room. So that's going to be exciting as well. So that, in addition to a camera room and some security improvements at the front door, will all be involved in this project. So we hope that you can accept the lowest, most responsible bidder so that we can get underway with this project.
Thank you. Alder Perez.
So, Director Trevor Young, last year we approved the exterior correction parking lot with. That already happened?
That's a great question. So Alder Perez is referring to our solar initiative that we have at our transit garage. So that has not yet happened. So these construction projects will be happening simultaneously. So we approved the funds and the assignment for that project, but bids have not yet gone out for construction of that because of approvals for the Department of Energy. So once that's done, we see these projects happening simultaneously. So it will be a lot of organizing which trucks go where so that we can still have buses get in and out of the facility.
So what impediments do you anticipate with this project? Do you think it'll be done at the same time that the other one's being done, or a year later? Do you have to wait for federal approval to do it? What is the relationship?
For this project, we do not. So once we accept these bid results, the contractor will be able to start, and hopefully by the end of the summer, we'll have the lion's share of the work complete. The lion's share of the work complete by the end of summer. Yeah.
Alder Jarrett.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a quick question. Sometimes we see the projected or anticipated, like what the city or what the, was budgeted before, and then we see like, so then we could compare to some of the bids that came in. Do we have that available to us? As far as like, you know, sometimes we have projects like we anticipated that it would cost 1.5 million, and this was just came in below. The kind of like to see where the threshold was, I guess.
Alder Jarrett, that's an excellent question. We anticipated this project being 1.6 million, so we were pretty surprised when we saw such low results. But what that means is that potentially we may be able to expand the scope of the project and add additional improvements. Yep.
Any further questions from committee members? Moved by Alder Mack, second by Alder Jarrett to approve item 087-24. Seeing no further questions, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Thank you, Director Young. Our next item is 0488-24, communications sponsored by the Chair on behalf of Department of Public Works, submitting bid results for contract 202-4072 CDBG lighting. Staff recommendation that the contract for the lighting be awarded to Will Surge Electric, Inc. in the amount of $334,236.96, they being the lowest responsive bidder. Physical note, funding is available in Ort Objects 45040 57520 GOB Street Lights. Engineer Molinder.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As stated, we received bids on May 22nd. The and we received two of them. One was Will Surge, who was the lowest bidder, lowest responsible bidder at $334,236.95. This is, our estimate was about 343, which they were a little bit under that, and we even had budgeted about 350,000 for this project. As if the committee agrees, we recommend approval, and well, yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. Any questions from committee members? Alder Perez.
What is a GOB? What does that mean? GOB?
It's general obligation bond funding.
Okay. So in the description of the items that are going to be done on the next page there, on this, it doesn't mention, it only mentions the structure, but it doesn't mention any lights. Why is that?
I'm sorry, what?
It mentions the structure, but not the lights.
That's because we pre-purchased the lights. So they basically will install the, the bases, and then I think there's an item in there to stand them up. So they have to wire them and stand them up. So we have a stockpile of lights that we purchased last year with CDBG money. We're going to, and more than what we need for this project, we're going to use those lights.
Alder Jarrett.
Madam Chair, Engineer Molitor, why does this one not qualify for the Racing Works program project?
Because it had CDBG funding in it that supersedes Racine Works program.
Questions from committee members? Move to approve by Alder Mack, second by Alder Perez on item 0488-24. Seeing no further questions or comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? The motion passes. The next item on our agenda is 0496-24, communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of the Department of Public Works, submitting bid results for contract 202-4141, Mount Pleasant Dry Retention Basin. Staff recommendation that contract for Mount Pleasant Dry Retention Basin be awarded to Wilcom Excavating, Inc. in the amount of $593,506.46, they being the lowest responsive bidder. Physical note funding is available in Order Object 60484, 57570, Storm Sewer. Mr. Pritzloff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We did open bids on the 22nd of May, 2024 at 2 p.m. We received 8 bids on this project. It was a very, very competitive bid. In the interest of time, I will not read every single one of them off, but they did range between $593,000 and $813,000 against the estimate of $1,030,000. So we've got some really good prices on this project. And just as a refresher for the committee, this project is born out of drainage problems that we were experiencing up where Mount Pleasant dead ends at GNC. If you're familiar with that area, there's a ditch line kind of running on the south end of the airport property there that overtops when we have large rain events and floods the road, and GNC's property actually sits a little bit lower than the road in this particular case, so that we have flooding that going into their building. So this is where the project came from. This is going to fix those problems out at GNC, and we would recommend approval.
Alder Perez.
So the work is actually being done in the city of Mount Pleasant or the village of Mount Pleasant?
Mount Pleasant Street.
This is the dead end of Mount Pleasant Street.
It's in Melissa's district. It's on South and Mount Pleasant. It's just right over there. Yeah, it's not in Mount Pleasant. It's District 5.
Right.
Melissa and I visited.
It's
there.
in Racine.
Yeah. It's it's like Mount Pleasant and South, right there. And then it's on the north side, and so then the water basin behind it comes from Battenfield, and then which I guess SEJ owns. I'm sorry, I'm stepping on toes here. But Melissa and I toured it before this came to Common Council, which we did approve last year. I want to believe we did approve the funding for it. They're looking at 50-year floods that they happen through there. I walked through it's insane. And with Great Northern being one of our biggest assets, this whole area, you walk through there, it's crazy. So I'm glad the work's getting done.
And I believe that ditch actually drains roughly a tributary area of, I would say, approximately 700 acres, something of that nature. It's a lot of land that ditch line takes on, and you've got vegetation, you've got trees, you've got all kinds of stuff in that ditch, and we decided on the project, council approved it, and here we are. We got some good bid results.
The day Alder Caprilli and I toured it was a day, it was that crazy rainstorm. The day it was the worst. Their power went out, and the whole thing, the airport, it's wild. Yeah.
Alder Jarrett.
Thank you again, Madam Chair. And I know Alder Perez usually catches these because he proofreads everything. The dry detention basin on the letter or memorandum, is that supposed to be retention?
So it's actually supposed to be detention.
Detention, really?
Correct.
You can, those words can be interchangeable? Retention and detention?
Well, retention would imply that water is going to actually be in the pond, that you
Yeah.
will see water. It's actually going to be a dry pond. So water will kind of drain through, and then we have a control structure at the end to control the discharge. But it will be full for a short period of time, but the object is for it to stay dry for most of the time, except during large rain events.
The water is basically metered as it's going out to alleviate flooding downstream.
Well, thank you. I learned something new today because I was like, detention, I thought was like a holding facility. It's like, but why are we doing that? Okay, thank you.
I don't believe we received a second from Alder Mack. Alder Mack, would you make your motion again, please? Oh, okay. A little long, but we will accept your second. It's motion by Alder Mack, second by Alder Jarrett to approve item 0496-24. Seeing no further questions, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Next item on our agenda is 0493-24, communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of Department of Public Works, submitting change order number 6 to contract 2023-029, Racine Public Works Transfer Station, Bukacek Construction Contractors. Staff recommendation that change order number 6, Racine Public Works Transfer Station, Bukacek Construction Contractors be approved in the amount of $1,416.80. Physical note funding for this change order is available in order object 45040-57110 transfer station. Mr. Pritzloff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This change order in the amount of $1,416.80 covers a reroute we had to do on the south side ceiling area of the building where we had some lateral bracing that was getting in the way of some HVAC duct. So we had to reroute it, come up with a different plan, and this is the result of that reroute. We recommend approval.
Thank you. Any questions from committee members? Seeing none, a motion is in order.
Second.
Who did the move? Alder Mack? Yeah. Okay. And Alder Jarrett? Alder Sebastian for the second. To approve item 0493-24. Seeing no further questions, all those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? That motion passes. The next item on our agenda is 491-24. Communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of Department of Public Works, submitting change order number 1 to contract 202-3022-23 City Resurfacing Payne and Dolan Inc. Contractors. Staff recommendation that the change order for resurfacing contractors be approved in the deduct amount of $102,638.42. Physical note funding for this change order is credited in the following: sanitary sewer, storm sewer, sidewalk replacement, crosswalk ramps, replace city circuits, DPW paving, asphalt, and paving. Mr. Mullender.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As stated, we are submitting change order number 1. This is a rectifying change order in the deduct amount of $102,638.42. Original contract was approved in the amount of $873,228.63 under resolution number 0315-23 of April 17th of last year. This change order number 1 brings the contract total for this contract to $770,590.21. We recommend approval of this change order.
Thank you. Questions from committee members? Seeing none, a motion is in order. A motion by Alder Perez, second by Alder Sebastian, to approve item 0491-24. Seeing no further questions, all those in favor, please say aye. Oppose? Motion passes. Our next item is 0492-24. Communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of the Department of Public Works, submitting final payment for contract 2023-022-2023, City Resurfacing, Payne and Dolan, Inc., contractors. Staff recommendation that the work completed by Payne and Dolan, Inc. on contract 2023-022-2023, City Resurfacing be accepted and final payment authorized for a total contract amount of $707,590.21. Final payment to include retainage. Physical note, contract 2023-022 was authorized under resolution number 0315-23 on April 17, 2023. Engineer Molitor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In an effort not to repeat all those numbers again, this is basically the final pay of the same project for the resolution or the rectifying change order that was just approved previously.
Motion to approve by Alder Mack, second by Alder Sebastian, to approve item 0492-24. Seeing no further questions, all those in favor, please say aye. Oppose? The motion passes. The next item is 0498-24, communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of Commissioner of Public Works to approve a stormwater management easement at the GNC property. Staff recommendation to approve. Mr. Pritchloff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is the first of the next 6 items for easement requests and easement approvals that are needed, in fact, in order to do the project that you just awarded prior in this agenda. So that would be the Mount Pleasant Dry Detention Basin. It gets somewhat complicated in that the stormwater management easement, which would be this item and the next item, we need an easement from both GNC and from Johnson. So we needed to separate those 2 items out, but as for the purposes of this item, this would be approving the easement on the GNC property, and then the next one would be approving the easement on the Johnson property. This allows us to actually, once the project is built, it allows the city to go in and maintain the dry retention basin, maintain the outlet structure, maintain anything in and around that particular area. And that's the main purpose for this item and the next item.
Thank you. Any questions from committee members? Seeing none, a motion is in order.
Yes, Alder Mack. The next 6 are actually for the same project. So
We'd have to go through,
Have to do what?
we'd have to approve.
Okay. Motion by Alder Mack, second by Alder Sebastian. I wasn't sure which one of you said that. Okay. Seeing no further questions, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Oppose? The motion passes. The next item is 0499-24, communication sponsored by the Chair on behalf of the Commissioner of Public Works to approve a stormwater and management easement at the Johnson property. Motion by Alder Mack, second by Alder Sebastian, to approve item 0499-24. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Motion passes. Oh, excuse me. Oppose? Motion passes. Got ahead of myself there. The next item is 0500-24, communication sponsored by the Chair on behalf of the Commission of Public Works to approve a temporary construction easement at the GNC property. Moved by Alder Mack, second by Alder Sebastian to approve item 0500-24. Seeing no further questions, comments, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Oppose? The motion passes. The next item is 0501-24, communication sponsored by the Chair on behalf of the Commission of Public Works to approve a temporary construction easement at the Johnson property. Staff recommendation is to approve. Motion by Alder Mack, second by Alder Sebastian to approve item Jarrett this time. Okay.
Just to trip you up, Molly.
I was going to say, I didn't look over at the lights that comes on. Okay, second by Alder Jarrett to approve item 0501-24. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Oppose? That motion passes. The next item is 0502-24, communication sponsored by the Chair on behalf of the Commission of Public Works to approve a temporary construction easement at the airport property. Staff recommendation to approved. Motion by Alder Mack, second by Alder Jarrett. Alder Perez has the question.
So, how or why are we on the airport property since that none of it is in the city of Racine?
The southern part of the airport property, we need a temporary so we can get equipment to do the project. So we needed some lands from them to as a temporary construction easement. Meaning we just need it during construction to be able to get equipment in and out and to actually physically do the project. So once that easement is, once we're done with the project, that reverts back to, and correct me if I'm wrong, that would revert back to the airport.
But why are we doing an easement in the airport when the airport doesn't belong to us? It's not within the city limits.
Alder Marlowe?
We basically are, there's a storm sewer pipe that comes off the airport. We have to replace the end wall to that pipe because it's deteriorating and we have to, clean up the area. We can't do that work. We could do the work from the GNC property and in the ditch, but we have, the bucket has to reach into the airport property, remove the end wall, put on a new one and clean it up. And then we actually have a temporary fence that has to go up, redo the fence. Once we're done with all that, we're done on the property.
It's on our property, so wouldn't Mount Pleasant be the one that would have to approve it?
But that part of the airport, I believe is I know it is. It's the city of Racine.
We've had fights before looking at that part of the airport where the property adjacent to the fence is not, and the property next to it is ours. So is this on the east or west side of the airport?
It's on the east side, kind of, as described before, you have South Street that comes off of Douglas and Mount Pleasant that comes up from like Horlick High School. And they cross at the signalized intersection. If you go north on Mount Pleasant, Basically the road just dead ends there. You have the GNC property on both sides of the road. You have another property, and then you have the Johnson hangar that's basically at the dead end. They have their own security gate, their own security fence. And then as you follow that ditch to the west of Mount Pleasant Street right to the fence of the airport, that is in the city of Racine. That portion of the airport is in the city of Racine, and that is where we're doing literally, maybe 6-10 yards of work.
Any further questions from committee members? Seeing none, a motion is in order. You did? Oh, you're right. My apology. Seeing no further questions, all those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? The motion passes. The next item on our agenda is 0503-24, communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of the Commission of Public Works to approve a temporary maintenance access easement at the GNC property. Staff recommendation, move to approve. Motion by Alder Mack, Alder Mack, second by Alder Jarrett, to approve item 0503-24. Seeing no comments, questions, all those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? The motion passes. The next item on our agenda is 0490-24, communication sponsored by the chair on behalf of Department of Public Works, submitting the final resolution for the following alley assessments. And we have a communication from Alda Widener to delete 3 items, but her proposal did not come from the residents, I believe. It did not come from their attorney, and it came in a day later than what any deletions are supposed to come in. It came in on Saturday, not Friday, as it should have been with the 10 days that the constituents have to disagree or agree with paving the alleys. Correct, attorney? Correct. So, excuse me, Alder Mack?
Just a question. I don't have a communication on which ones.
6, 7, and 8.
Thank you. Alder Perez.
No question for the attorney. Even though no communication came in from the residents and on time, but we did get an email from another alderman. If we choose to delete it, we can delete it, right?
Alder Jarrett.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I do agree with Alder Mack, kind of holding it in what we've done in the past. However, do you mind if we do look at those properties, because that might sway one or all of our the way that we will vote for that? Are these available on the screens where you actually see a picture of it?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to, I don't think it has to be an amendment or whatever the case is, but I would like to see those alleys, because sometimes it might be like really, really bad, or sometimes it could be like, okay, might hold up for another couple of years.
This is the typical picture from item number 6. This alley is north-south section of Prospect, Harriet, Howard, and David. And that we basically already have 3 people via email have stated their opposition to the project, which totals to 13.72% against. That's item number 6. Here's item number 7, Prospect Harriet Jefferson Howard. That's your typical picture of the alley. And we have literally no response from anyone that lives on the alley. This is the item number 8, the Hill Prospect, and it's kind of an odd location of an alley, but so it's described as Hill Prospect, south of Prospect, and west of Hill. And this is your typical picture of that alley. And we have basically one person that owns 4 different properties on that alley that is opposed, for a total of 24.59% opposed.
Any further questions from committee members?
I would like to make regarding these couple alleys that we're looking at here. I can see where Alderman Wedner would be opposed. Obviously, we don't know what, I'm sorry, perhaps I should have seen the PACER rating on them. What were the PACER ratings on them? I'm sorry. 1.
PACER rating on alley number 6 in your packet, which was Prospect Harriet Howard David. That's a PACER rating of 1.
Thank you. Jared shared it with me. Sorry. Question. So going through this, and last 2 weeks ago when we did this was the first time that I've been a part of it. So when we're looking at PACER ratings, and I know that that's a calculation and things of that nature, I mean, for me, this PACER rating 1 looks way better than a PACER rating of 3 that we saw in a different one. Like, I don't know what that, I don't know. I'm just asking.
You're asking what a PACER rating of 1 actually...
No. Like, so I went through the whole thing, because so there's, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, blah, blah, blah. But, looking at this as a PACER rating 1, it doesn't look that bad considering some of the other ones that we've seen. So I guess that's just my question.
Basically, we have AECOM does our rating.
Right.
And anytime you get, okay, this doesn't have a huge pothole compared to this. Even this doesn't have a pothole, but it's basically when that's an overlay that you're looking at, and the asphalt is it was overlaid. I don't know when. I don't have all those facts in front of me. That is usually for the public hearing portion. The asphalt is gone. It's it's here and it's there in some places. It's gone in the other places. It's raveled. It's been patched. When we had manpower to do it, all these alleys are easily 50, probably closer to 75 years old. Sometimes they last up to 100 years. But anything that's deteriorated to a point where if one bad storm, this is going to some of this is going to wash away, and more of it's going to wash away. So it's the pavement is the surface pavement is not structurally functioning at all.
And then my other question, again, I'm learning here, and I listen to everything you guys say, I promise. So with that, I know, and as we've been listening to other people who live on alleys about they don't use their alleys, but we're talking about garbage trucks and things like that going through. Is there like weight problems and space problems when we're looking at that with those trucks going through?
Well, the alley is there to serve the purpose, and you can see the recycle containers and the solid waste. That's what it's there for, is for people to get access to their garages that are on the back of their property, and to collect refuge. And that's why we have those trucks going down. If this gets to a PACER rating of 0, we're going to recommend pulling those services off of the alley, and they'll have to be picked up on the street. And the one that is described very oddly, this one, these houses basically front the alley, and this is above the, what I think it's still called the DeKoven Center, isn't it? Or, it's Dominic Drive that goes right around Lincoln Park. And this alley is up above the hill the properties actually run all the way down to Dominic Drive, and the houses and the garages are back here, we have no option to pull the garbage off of these alleys and put it on the street, because there's no way these people are hauling their garbage all the way down a hill and down to Dominic Drive.
So I guess to summarize, I guess my question, which maybe I should have asked better, it is important for Civic Resources to be able to pick up garbage through that, be able to maintain through that alleyway, to maintain so that they don't have to do that.
Yes.
Right. It's not just for cosmetics, it's for
Yeah.
importance. Thank you.
Alder Perez.
Yes, before we look at this, can you, Mr. Fitzgerald, talk about the finances if we approve something to be fixed, please?
Thanks, Alder Perez. How these get paid for typically, I guess I'll first discuss the amounts. So $200 really is the cutoff. So if you're $200 or less, you're going to be paying that in full. Anything above and beyond $200, you can pay off over 10 installments over 10 years. So, but there is a 6% interest rate per annum applied to that. I guess secondly, timing. So there was some questions, I think, about timing and when these things get paid. So here's how it works. We go through this public hearing process. We go through the approval of the streets and what have you. Once it's determined what streets, what alleys are going to get done by this committee and the Common Council, the city engineers folks, get into high gear. They will begin surveying and putting base plans together. So in the winter of that same year, the design will be done. The project will be bid out in the beginning of the following year. So now we're into 2025, the beginning of 2025. The projects will be bid out and constructed. So in a lot of cases, these projects will not be finalized out, if you will, in terms of final payment to the contractor, whoever does this work, till probably the fall of 2025, at the very least, right? I mean, we're in that neighborhood. So it's not until final payment occurs on these particular projects that we would determine what that assessment rate's going to be, and we send that information down to the finance folks, and it is then levied however a person wants it to be, whether it's the $200 or whether they're going to do 10 installments or whether they're going to pay the whole thing. So from start to finish, you're looking at probably, I would say, a minimum of 2 years before these assessments actually get assessed to the property owners, based on all the things that we have to go through statutorily, all the things we have to go through from a construction standpoint, all the things we have to go through from a finaling the project out standpoint. So those two things. So timing, we're looking at roughly 2 years before any assessment is levied. And as far as the amount, it's 10 years or $200.
So question, would it be fair to say that these alleys would most likely be exponentially worse by the time they actually get work done? Could possibly.
Exponentially worse. I don't know. You can't get much lower than 1 other than 0. They're not going to get better. So yes, they will not improve. They will always be getting worse.
Alder Jarrett?
Oh, no.
Oh, you do?
No, I don't have any further questions. I know in the past we have also kind of grouped them, the ones we want to be deleted versus the one we would like to discuss or approve. Is that still an option?
You can do a motion for all the deletions. That's fine, so you can group all the deletions together, but the approvals, you'll have to go through what remains individually, just like we did at the last hearing.
Jarrett?
Can I make a motion, Chairwoman, for the deletion? And of course, other committee members could amend for which ones ever they want to see. I would like to make a motion to delete, and I'm looking at page 53 and 54, 1, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 13. Oh, yes, sorry. Page 53 and 54 on the summary of public hearing, number 413. I would like to make a motion to delete number 1, Ali North South 12, Riley Racing Irvin. Number 5, Ali North South 1615 Thurston's Grange. Number 6, Ali North South Prospect Harriet Howard David. Number 8, Ali West East Hill Prospect South of Prospect West of Hill. Number 9, Ali North South State West Blake Memorial. And then number 13, Ali North South Victory 16th Arthur Blaine. 13, mostly because we do have a couple of people, based on what we have done in the past, we do have a lot of people that opposed.
It has been motion and second to delete the items that Alder Jarrett listed, and second by Alder Mack. Second. Alder Mack. Alder Perez.
So my question is, if we go ahead and delete these, what are we deleting? We're deleting that they will not be fixed, or we're deleting that they will be fixed?
It will not be fixed.
If we delete them, they won't be fixed.
Correct, sir.
Correct. In that case, we also had a request for 6 through 8, and we didn't say that in any of those. I don't believe that was mentioned by Alder Jarrett. Is that correct?
They were, except number 7, because there were no for or against. And again, all the prayers, I'm just kind of basing on what we have done in the past. Of course, if you want to make an amendment to add number 7, that's, you can. I just didn't add number 7 because we didn't have for or anyone for or against who lives there, if that makes sense.
So, I'm a little confused. Ones that Alder Jarrett mentioned was 1, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 13, but not number 7. And the reasoning was that I would like to make an amendment that we add 7 because it is from a request from an alderman.
Since it came, Alder, we could still do that, sir?
Alder Perez can make the amendment for whatever he wishes to do. However, technically, we're not to be considering Alder Widener's request because it did come in late.
I disagree with you, sir. The fact that we can do it based on the information we received, which you said was okay, that we could delete anything we want.
You have the prerogative to delete anything you want for whatever reason you it.
Right.
For the record, technically, I have to say, because it came in late, that is not supposed to be one of the things we consider.
But
What you
it
consider
didn't
on
come
your
in
own is
late from
entirely
the
up to you.
people. It came in from an alderman asking us to do that. I'm sorry. It didn't come in. It came in late from the constituents. I understand that, but because we're not basing it on that, we're basing it on what an alderman asked us to do. It doesn't matter when they ask us to do that. She could have asked us 20 minutes ago, and if we bring it up, we can do it.
Entirely up to you, sir. On you what my opinion is on that, but I can.
Alder Mack.
It's very clear that we have the ability to delete as we see for it in a time. That alderman would still have the right to call it out for separate consideration on Tuesday Motion is at 7. Forward.
Alder Sebastian.
Just mirroring what Alder Jarrett said, because I was kind of on the same page with that, is that I felt as though the last two times we've been pretty consistent. You know, if there were 0 against or 0 for, and then there were certain people who were opposed. So then if there are people who are opposed, we stay consistent, we don't approve it. There's 0 for, 0 against. I understand the alderman of that district expressing that she feels as though that should be moved forward, but I do like the consistency in that way because it kind of gets mishel-masheled, if you will. I don't know.
Alder Jarrett.
Sorry. I understand what, actually, you're not Paul Von Holt. I'm sorry, the attorney was saying. And I do understand what the alder is saying, but as a sitting alder, like you said, the rules should apply to all of us, whether we're constituent or not. So from someone from my district, I would try to make sure that I get it in on time. I don't expect different treatment because I'm a sitting alder and I got it in late and now all of a sudden it should be considered. You know, like all the Sebastian was saying, that we have this in front of us. Again, we can always go back and just do one by one. So if that will make, just to be fair, that's also, I can retract my motion and we can just go through the 13 of these. So I don't understand. I don't know what the rest of the committee wants. And although Mac is right that although Widener could definitely pull it aside for separate consideration. However, there's no one that said they're for or against on that street. So if we're trying to be consistent with what we've done in the past, or if we're just going a different route, my vote will just be to leave 7 out of the deletion. And if Alderwoman Widener chooses to bring it up for separate consideration, we can definitely look at that as a council.
Any further questions from committee members? I don't think so.
I mean, I did motion it, I don't remember who's second. I thought it was Alder Mack, but maybe not.
The first, second, I don't think you're Alder Perez.
Can't hear you, ma'am.
Oh, I said I don't think yours was second. Your motion was second. The one before that was second.
Second it.
Would you repeat your amendment again, just so for the record?
Add number 7 as part of the deletion.
Alder Mack, you seconded. There is an amendment on the floor to add number 7 to the rest of the alleys to be deleted. Any questions? Alder Jarrett.
Yes, one more time, Mayor Pope, and if this is, do you mind?
Have an amendment motion on the floor. Seeing no further questions, comments, all those in favor of the amendment to add number 7, please signify by saying aye. Oppose? Aye. Oh. Our original bill on the floor to delete alley number 1, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 13. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Oppose? The motion passes. We'll start off with alley number 2, 1918 Fleet Homes.
Madam Chair, this is a Portland Cement Concrete Alley, PACER rating of 1, total of 18 properties. We have 0% of the frontage for, and we have 5.72% of the frontage, percent of the frontage against.
Alder Molitor, would you display that alley, please? Any questions? Motion by Alder Mack, second by Alder Jarrett to approve. This is for the paving, correct? Yes. Pave alley, 19th, 18th Fleet Homes. Any questions, comments? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Next alley is.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. Oppose?
No.
One opposed. Motion passes. The next item is alley north-south, Riley, 11th, Racine, Irving. Mr. Pritchloff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a Portland Cement Concrete Alley, again with a PACER rating of 1. 7 properties abut the proposed improvement. We have 0% of the frontage for, and we have 0% of the frontage against.
Motion by Alder Sebastian, second by Alder Mack to approve alley number 3 on our list. Alley north-south, Riley, 11th, Racine, Irving. Any further questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Oppose? The motion passes. Our next alley is alley northwest, Albert, Kiwanee, Blake, and Carlson. Well, Carlisle. Yes, excuse me. Alder.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have, again, a Portland Cement Concrete Alley, a PACER rating of 1. We have 23 properties abutting the proposed improvement. And we have 0% for and 0% front footage against.
Motion and second to approve number 4, alley north-south, Albert, Kiwanee, Blake, and Carlisle. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? The motion passes. The next alley is number 7, alley north-south, Prospect, Harriet, Jefferson, Howell. Mr. Pritchloff.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. We have a Portland Cement Concrete Alley, again, a PACER rating of 1. 21 properties abut the proposed improvement. And we have 0% of the front footage for, and we have 0% of the front footage against.
Questions from committee members? Seeing none, a motion is in order. Is there a second? Motion then.
Second.
By Alder Mack, second by Alder Perez to delete number 7, alley north-south, Prospect, Howard, Jefferson, Howard. Any further questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? We have one no, so it passes. Number 7 passes. The next item is number 10, Alley South, Maple, Liberty, North Memorial, Randolph. Mr. Pritzloff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a Portland Cement Concrete pavement PACER rating of 1, total of 4 properties on this proposed improvement. We have 0% of the front foot in favor. We have 0% of the front foot against.
Motion by Alder Mack, second by Alder Jarrett to approve item number 10. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Our next item is number 11, Alley North-South, Maple, Liberty, North Memorial, Randolph. Mr. Pritzloff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Once again, we have a Portland Cement Concrete Alley PACER rating of 1. We have 18 properties about the proposed improvement. We have 11.11% of the front footage in favor, and we have 5.56% of the front footage against.
Motion by Alder Jarrett, second by Alder Sebastian to approve item number 11. Seeing no further questions, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Oppose?
No.
The motion passes. Our final item is item number 12, Alley North, Maple, Liberty, North Memorial, Randolph. Mr. Pritzloff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a Portland Cement Concrete pavement PACER rating of 1, total of 5 properties adjacent to the proposed improvement. We have 0% in favor, and we have 23.3% against.
Thank you. Questions from committee members? Seeing none, a motion is in order. There's a second. Motion dies for the.
Second.
There's a motion to delete item 12 by Alder Mack, second by Alder Perez. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Oppose? Motion passes. That exhausts our agenda for this
Motion
afternoon.
approved.
Oh, I'm sorry. We need a final motion to approve the items as amended.
Second.
Alder Mack, motion, second by Alder Perez, that we delete and approve the items as stated. Any questions? Comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? The motion passes. Now, are we good? Now we are adjourned. Thank you so much, everyone.